Ready? Okay, guys, I am back for the much anticipated third installment. And I know it took a while to get this, but had a few issues with the mail delay and stuff like that. So this is episode 3, volume 3, chapter 3, whatever you want to call it. Spider Mountain. That's what I'm going to title this. So, as anyone who knows me knows that my favorite superhero is Spider-Man. And as you can see here, I've got like tons of Spider-Man graphic novels. That's not even counting the Spider-Man comics that I have and other Spider-Man comics that I have put up. But for this video, we're just going to focus on the Spidey graphic novels. Starting with this. Now this is what first got me into the Essential line. Whenever I was at Hastings and I flipped out, I first saw this, I flipped out. I blew my mind. I was like, holy, you know what? Because this is like a thick book of Spider-Man. And whenever I saw this for the first time, I didn't even know that they made anything like this. It has Amazing Spider-Man numbers 1 through 20. And of course, the Amazing Fantasy number 15, his debut story. Like how it all started, like the classics and stuff. And I was like, wow. And I had to get it as soon as I saw it at Hastings. So this is where the my obsession with Essentials started, with this book, Essential Spider-Man Volume 1. And after I finished that, as soon as I finished that, I wanted more, and I was constantly going back to Hastings, hoping to find another one of these books. And I eventually did, and I was like, oh my gosh, Volume 2, I am in heaven. This was so awesome. And Volume 2 eventually led to Volume 3, but now we're up to issue number 44 through 68. Then, of course, I've got the Volume 4, issues number 69 through 89, annuals number 4 through 5. Let me see if there's anything. In this volume, Peter will face some of his greatest challenges and overcome some of his most harrowing foes. Adventure at its best, true believers. Yeah, it doesn't really say much about the content, but I remember when I first read these, I was just amazed. I would read these like from cover to cover. I would finish them in like about a week, and I would crave for more. I was just so... And actually, funny story, I should have actually started with this, but the reason why my favorite superhero is Spider-Man is whenever I was a kid, my uncle had like tons and tons of Spider-Man comic books like stored away, and he would always like, you know, give me Spider-Man comic books or let me read them. And that's how, whenever I got these Essentials, I recognized some of the comics that he would give me. So it's like, oh yeah, I remember as a kid I used to read these. And reading these Essential volumes just brought back a lot of memories for me. This is, of course, Volume 5, Spidey number 90 through 113. Oh yes. The return of Dr. Octopus. The first appearance of Morbius, the living vampire. Yeah, the vampire from Spider-Man. He was a pretty awesome character. The death of Captain Stacy, which is Gwen Stacy's father. And he has numerous battles with the Green Goblin. This is like... Let me see. I don't know if it's this one or... Yeah, it's in this one. This is the one where Gwen Stacy is killed off in volume number 6, which has Amazing Spidey 114 through 137, Giant Size Superheroes number 1, Giant Size Spider-Man number 1 through 2. So this is one of the best. Well, they're all good. It's hard to pick the best one because honestly I'd recommend them all. But volume number 6 is a very good volume. Oh. Sorry. These are some of my boy's puzzle pieces. He's an Avengers fan. Okay. Spider-Man Essential Volume 7. Amazing Spider-Man number 138 through 160. Annual 10. Giant Size Spider-Man 4 and 5. And oh, I see the Jackal is in here. He plays like a big part. I'll get to him like later on. in this video. Essential Spider-Man number 8. Spider-Man graduates high school, starts college. Exciting times. Amazing Spider-Man 9, which is Spidey number 186 through 210, annual number 13 through 14, and Peter Parker annual number 1. Amazing Spider-Man number 10, and I believe that's the Juggernaut from the X-Men. And of course, the Black Cat, which is pretty much, if I can describe the Black Cat, she's kind of like to Spider-Man what Catwoman is to Batman. He's her sometimes love interest, sometimes ally, sometimes opponent, I guess, or villain. And finally, on this essential, the Essential Amazing Spider-Man number 11, which is to date the last essential book that they've put out with Amazing Spider-Man, which I really hope that they continue putting out more, because on the back here, this is actually my favorite Spider-Man villain, the Hobgoblin. And this book ends right about the time that Hobgoblin was first coming out. And you know, I'd like to read more Spider-Man with the Hobgoblin. So since there's no more Essential Amazing Spider-Man, now we have the Essential Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, Volume 1. I actually used to have this comic too, the one with Tarantula, and there's, I think, another story in here where the Punisher goes crazy and he goes in jail. I remember reading these stories. It wasn't as good as the Amazing line, but it's still very superb reading. I like these here. Essential Peter Parker Volume 2, which has Spectacular Spider-Man 32 through 53, number 1, 2. And I see there's a battle with the Lizard here. And I see Doc Ock. And I'm sure many, many more villains. Okay. Essential Peter Parker Volume 3, issues 54 through 74. I see the Kingpin back here. And I think that's the Boomerang. I'm not sure. Many of you might notice the Kingpin as like a Daredevil villain, especially with the new Daredevil series on Netflix. So here's, of course, Essential Volume 4 of Peter Parker, which has an appearance of Cloak and Dagger. Very underrated duo here. I remember they even had their own comic book series at one time. I remember I used to like these guys, but very underrated. And here's more of that. Is Cloak right here and Dagger. And Essential Peter Parker Volume 5 in his black suit. And Peter Parker Spectacular number 97 through 114. Okay. And that's all of the essentials of Peter Parker. So now we move on now to Essential Web of Spider-Man, which is another Spider-Man title that was put out by yeah, this is where he starts transitioning more into the black suit. See, he goes from his regular suit, and now he decides to go to the black suit. And this, I believe, is where he first starts encountering some of the problems. Let's see. Web of Spider-Man Volume 2, right here, which is web number 19 through 32. Whole lot of appearances in these books. Very good reading. I really recommend that. Okay, and here's the Essential Marvel Team Up. Now, on this Essential is quite different because on here every episode has Spider-Man teaming up with another Marvel superhero. Like sometimes like he'll team up with like Iron Man or like the Hulk, Doctor Strange. This is another very interesting comic, especially like if you like team ups. So, and here's volume 2. Right off the bat, you see Spider-Man and the Hulk teaming up. And if anyone remembers who this guy is, I don't. But it also co-stars the Daredevil, the Thing, the Beast, the Frankenstein monster. So yeah. Yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna make a separate pile right here now. Essential Marvel Team Up number 3, which has Spidey and Iron Man, and it looks like Backlash. I'm not sure. And Essential Marvel Team Up Volume 4. And that's, oh yeah, a little cameo by Howard the Duck. He's always funny. It's always funny to put him in there. For no reason. You know. Okay, moving on. And finally, well, I still got a little bit more to go, but I also have this. The Saga of the Alien Costume. Which explores Spider-Man, not quite, kind of like whenever he was in this costume, but before the appearance of Venom. The only kind of gripe I have about this book is at the end. Here it kind of leaves on a cliffhanger where he's about to go off to battle against the Hobgoblin, and it ends like that. So yeah, and it really sucks because I remember I actually have this. Let me get to the beginning of it. Bear with me. Yeah, I actually have this comic in my collection, and I've always wanted to know how it continues, but of course I won't get to conclusion in this book. So yeah. And here, the Epic Collection, where the Essential Collection kind of picks off or drops off. Now we have the Epic Collection, which is similar to the Essentials with one difference. It's in color. In beautiful, beautiful color. Yeah. And there's actually some books in here that I've had whenever I was a kid, if I can find it. I was just looking through this and I found it before, and now I really should have put a bookmark or something in there, but oh, wait, I think I might have found it. Bear with me. Jeez, how long is these comic books? Not this one. Bear with me. This one. I remember I have this comic book right here. And of course the problem is this is like part 2 of a 3-parter, so as a kid I never knew how it began and I never knew how it concluded. Now, thanks to this book, I finally have the answers. So thank you, Epic Collection. Okay, I have Amazing Spider-Man Ghost Epic Collection, Ghosts of the Past. I'm thinking of like Scrooge or something like that. There's actually another one that I want to get soon. It's called Amazing Spider-Man Epic Robin Bound. So, and now this is kind of controversial subject. Well, not subject, but some people love this storyline, some people hate it. It's the original Clone Saga, when they cloned Spider-Man. This collects Amazing Spider-Man number 139 through 150, which most of these books I actually have in the Essentials, but I got this book because it not only has more, but like I said, it's in color. Essentials are not in color. They're not. So this, the original Clone Saga, leads into this. This is the reason for the delay in this video. I was waiting forever for these two packages, these two books right here. I was waiting for these two to come in just so I could make this video for you guys. And here you are. The complete Clone Saga, which kind of continues onto this one, which has Amazing Spider-Man number 394, Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man 217, Spider-Man 1990 51 through 53, Spider-Man Unlimited number 7, Web of Spider-Man number 117 through 119, and Spider-Man Lost Years number 123. I'm gonna kind of go like the Micro Machines guy, if you 80s kids know what I'm talking about. So, and here's this is volume 1 right here. This is volume 2. These are the two volumes that took forever to come in the mail. Forever. Okay. I actually also ordered volume number 3 last month, but it was on back order. So it's taking a while to get here. And I don't have volume 4 yet. I still need to get that, but I got volume 5. Now, I know what you're thinking. But Striker, dude, why are you going to get volume 5 when you don't have volume 3 or volume 4 yet? Well, because this one was the cheapest one. And so, I'll get to the other ones later on, when I get some more Moody's. Okay, and I like the Spider-Man so much that I even got Essential Spider-Woman. Not related to Spider-Man. Doesn't really have anything to do with Spider-Man, except for the fact that her first name is Spider. So, there you go, Spider-Woman. She's like an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. She has like these venom blasts that she shoots out. I think she flies, I'm not sure. Volume 1 and Volume 2. Which, this one appears to have the X-Men on it. I've read these, but it's been a while. So that's about all for Spider Mountain. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and take care.